Yo, what's poppin'? What's going on? It's your boy, Mr. Locario, the bad boy of the dating game. So, in this video, I'm going to be looking at some emails that I've been getting, because I get a lot of emails, and I try to get to as many as I can. So what I'm going to do in this video, I'm going to be reading a couple of these, and we're going to be discussing this. This video, it might be long. But I want to, I like to get to as many people's emails as possible. But I want to tell you guys, when you send me emails and you have questions, try to send it with just like a paragraph. Because a lot of you guys have be sending like these novels and shit. And I'm just like, man, so, and I'm going to be doing a few of these questions. So I'm going to, I took some of the short questions that I got, and some of them I just paraphrase just for time issues, so I don't have to read a long ass question, and I'll just give you the idea of what the person wrote. And you gotta pardon me because it's like almost 1:30 in the morning while I'm recording this. I was busy today like crazy doing a whole bunch of shit. So, but I want to get to the emails. You feel what I'm saying? Because I like when you guys send emails, and I want you guys to get your questions answered. And remember, if you want to get your question answered, guaranteed, if you want a guarantee that your question is going to be answered, make sure you click the link below and send a donation, okay? All right, so let's just get to this, man. So this first one, it says, do you have to be a dick to get women? Is there a way that I can get women without being an asshole? I don't consider myself a corny nice guy, but I'm not an asshole to women either. And is this holding me back from getting women? Should I be more of a bad boy? Okay, so guys, you gotta understand, when you are dealing with women, you gotta stop thinking that you have to act like an asshole or a jerk, or thinking that, acting like a jerk or an asshole is going to get women to like you more, right? Because when you're acting, when you're not being who you are and you're just acting like something, you're not being authentic, you're not being true to yourself. You're just fucking trying to do something to get something. And so when you're doing that, girls can tell that it's phony. This is why girls don't like nice guys, because the whole nice guy shtick is phony. No guy is nice. I've talked about this a million times. I've talked about it in my book, The Magnificent 10 Crucial Dating Tips for Men, which all of you guys should get. Go to MrLocario.com. So what happens is that nice guys, what they do is they are pretending to be nice in order to impress a girl or to make her, like him. He thinks, well, if I be nice, then she's going to like me. So what a guy is doing when he's being nice, he's acting a certain way. He's not being himself. He's saying, oh, let me agree with everything she says. Let me do everything she says. Let me spend all this money on her. Let me buy her flowers. Let me buy her drinks. Let me do this. Let me do that. And he's acting this way to, impress her, to get her to like him. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is that he's not really being himself, and a woman can, she can feel that. So if you're trying to act like a jerk, or you're trying to act like a dick, she can tell that you're acting that way just because you're, for something else. She can tell that it's phony. She can tell this is not real. You understand? The reason why, acting that way, acting like a jerk or an asshole, or even acting like a nice guy, doesn't work, is because there's no balance in that. You understand? See, the reason why it seems like women are into bad boys and jerks and all that other shit is because the guy she's dealing with, who is, being that way, is most likely actually that way. He's not acting. This is just how he is. You understand what I'm saying? So, and a lot of the stuff that he does isn't necessarily, he's not purposely doing this saying, oh, I'm going to do this because this is going to make me look like a jerk and then she's going to like me. No, he's just doing him, and whatever he did, it seems like an asshole type of thing maybe, and then she was, it's like it was into him because that was how he was on an authentic level. You understand? See, now, a lot of guys ask me, they're like, well, if I'm really a nice, what if I am really a nice guy? What if I am authentically a nice dude? And the thing is, there's a difference between being a good guy and being a nice guy. You understand? Because when we talk about nice guys, we're talking about the guys who are bending over backwards and all this other extra shit. Now, you could be a good guy, meaning like you're not like a guy who's rude to people. You're a guy who's cool with people. But, when you're a good guy, you still have a balance there because you have a backbone. You're not letting chicks walk all over you. You understand? So the thing is that in order to attract women, you don't have to be a fucking jerk. You understand? You just be, who you are authentically, because that type of energy or that type of thing that she might interpret as that bad boy, feel will basically come out of you when you are being authentic. You understand what I'm saying? So, the thing is that a lot of times these guys who are considered jerks or assholes or bad boys is just literally like a guy who was going out with a girl or messing with a girl, and he just maybe didn't call her for a week because he just didn't feel like it. You feel what I'm saying? So now she's like wondering, oh my God, how come he didn't call me? And blah, 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 blah. And objectively, he looks like he's being a jerk or an asshole. Or some people will be like, oh, why didn't you call that girl? You're being a dick or whatever, blah, blah, blah. But he just like, I didn't feel like calling her. You understand? He's just doing his thing. He's probably talking to other girls or whatever. But it's natural. It's something that's real. It's something that's coming off, authentic. It's not him sitting there plotting and scheming and coming up with plans to appear like a dickhead or an asshole. Because what you're doing is that you're trying to do things that you think is, the asshole type of thing. But that's not the thing that attracts her. What attracts women is the authenticity. What attracts women is trusting a dude. And the thing is, a lot of women, the reason why, because a lot of guys say, they'll be like, I don't understand why this girl keeps going back to this guy when he's being such a dick to her, he's treating her mean or whatever. But the fact is that she sort of trusts him because she sees him and she says, well, even though he's being an asshole and he's being a dick or he's being this way or that way, right? I see that as who he is. So I trust that this guy isn't technically being phony. Do you understand what I'm saying? The reason why women aren't into the nice guys, because the nice guy shit comes off as phony. And she feels like, I can't trust this guy because he seems phony. I don't know what he's really thinking. I don't know how he really is because he's just being super extra nice to try to impress me. This other guy over here who's being, who seems like a jerk, they trust that a little bit more because they're thinking, well, he's not trying to get me to like him. He's not bending over backwards to please me or whatever. So he seems a little bit more honest than these other nice guy dudes. Because most of these guys out here, truth be told, what happens is that they interact with women like, fucking nice guys. A lot of chicks run into dudes who are just ass kissers. You understand? Guys who bend over backwards. Oh, girl, let me get you a drink. Girl, let me do this for you. Let me do that for you. So they got, guys waiting on them hand and foot, being extra nice, being extra accommodating. Do you understand what I'm saying? So when a woman meets a guy who's just like the opposite of that, or the guy who's just being regular and normal and chilling, she's more attracted to him because he seems more authentic. He seems more like a natural, regular dude. Do you understand? Because chicks, they're not trying to be put on that pedestal. They love attention. They'll take the attention, but at the end of the day, they're not really attracted to that guy. That's not the guy who they want to really, be like, oh, I want that dude. You know what I'm saying? And you trying to act like a jerk or act like an asshole, that's not being authentic, and you're not really going to get anywhere with that because she's again going to also sense and see that that's an act. She's going to see that you're trying to do that to, just be on some jerk shit because you think that's what's going to work in order to attract her. But what really works is the authenticity. You understand? That's the thing that really, gets girls gravitating to you, because women want to sort of get to know who the fuck you are. This is why chicks will be like, I want to get to know you. I want to get to, spend some time with him and see who he really is. And all. That's why chicks say that, I want to get to know you first nonsense. You know what I'm saying? Because they actually do want to know who they're dealing with. They want to know who the fuck they're dealing with, right? So by you putting on an act, they don't know who the fuck they're dealing with. You feel what I'm saying? So that is that. All right, let's see. What other job do? I mean, also what other job? What other email do we have? See, it's late. I'm recording this. I'm fucking going crazy. All right, so this says, how do you get to have sex with a woman ASAP? Like, what do you need to do to make most of the women you go out with turn into a fuck buddy situation? I can get girls' numbers, go on dates, but it's hard to turn that into sex. How do I do this effectively? Okay. So, you want to know how to get more sex with chicks, right? And this is like the question guys really, they always want to know about this and everything like that. And the main thing you got to understand is this. The main fucking thing you got to understand is this, right? Is that you need to just get the girl from point A to point B. Point A is where you're at. Point B is sex, right? So how do you get the girl there, right? So you need to be able to bring sex up in this situation, all right? You need to basically have sexual tension in the situations. You have to lead the girl down a sort of sexual path when you're dealing with her. See, the problem with a lot of guys, and the reason why a lot of guys don't have sex, is because a lot of guys do not, take it to the step of actually, bringing up sex in the situation or making the situation sexual. It's really that simple. So a lot of guys, what they do is they'll talk to a girl, and that's it. They'll just be talking. There's no flirting. There's no touchy-feely stuff. There's no sexual tension, and that's the reason why, it doesn't work. It doesn't happen. And the reason why is because, another reason why is because a lot of guys believe that they need to sort of do a whole big song and dance to convince a woman to have sex with them. Because they feel like, or they've been conditioned to think that women don't like sex just as much as they do. You understand? And women love fucking sex. So the guys who understand this, the guys who understand that women love sex, are the ones who push it to the point where, it needs to go. And then they are the ones who actually have sex, right? So, for example, instead of just talking to a chick on some regular shit, at some point you gotta get flirty. You understand? At some point you gotta, get touchy-feely. So you touch her hand, you touch the side of her, her arm while you're talking to her. You're talking to her, you sort of like touch your leg a little bit, pull your hand away or whatever, touch your leg again while you're having that conversation. So you have to basically move it in that direction, right? While you're having the conversation could get a little bit more sexual. You understand what I'm saying? So you get it into that vibe where sex can happen. I remember one time, I was chilling with one of my peoples, and it was me, him, and these two girls. And so we were in the train station, and we were coming back from we met them at this bar or whatever, and we were all sort of like taking the train home, back to wherever we was going. So the whole time while we're in the train station, we're sort of just like having conversations, talking or whatever, and I kept bringing up my friend and one of the other girls like getting together because I saw that they was flirting a lot. So I was like, oh, so you guys gonna go back to my boy's place and y'all gonna have some hot, sweaty sex tonight? And the girl is like laughing like, oh no, that's not gonna happen. And my friend is laughing. And I'm like, oh yeah, that's gonna happen. He's gonna take you back to the crib, you're getting in the shower. And I'm just talking shit. You understand? But the thing is, what I'm doing is that I'm putting images and thoughts and stuff in her head about that actually happening. You understand? So, I could tell she was already attracted to him. So by me saying this stuff and just putting that in the air and the conversation is actually sexual, then it got her thinking about that. And so what happened was we all took the train together. One of the girls got off first. I got off right after the other girl, and then my boy and the other girl was still on the train because they was going the same direction. Next you know, next day, my boy called me. He's like, yo, chick came home with me. We got it popping. You feel what I'm saying? And that's all literally just from that, having those conversations at that moment, right? Now, a lot of times what you're going to run into is that you're going to run into chicks who are, who seem like they're put off by conversations about sex, or being sexual, or getting sexual, as far as like touching her a little bit and all the other stuff in certain situations. And what you got to understand is that sometimes some girls that you deal with are not going to be comfortable with PDA, meaning public displays of affection. But this doesn't necessarily mean that she's not down to make it happen. So sometimes if the chick is not down with the public displays of affection, meaning you touching her or kissing her or whatever, you still have to sort of keep the conversation a little bit sexual, so that you can gauge to see where she's at and how she feels about that, and how she's gonna, if she's like down with that. Because the thing is, even though she doesn't want to get all touchy-feely in public, if you're having sexual conversations with her, and then let's say she's receptive to that, and then you say something like, hey, so you want to come back, let's go back to my place and chill for a little bit. You understand? So if she's like, okay, cool, she's like, yeah, because now she actually wants to get down, but she wants to wait till she gets to your house to get down, because she's not too comfortable with the public displays of affection, right? But either way, you still have to sort of, let her know, or talk that sexual shit, right? Another thing that a lot of guys, you got to understand about this is that you have to be able to sort of lead the interaction, meaning you have to escalate the situation in order for the situation to get sexual, especially when you're in a situation where sex can literally happen at that moment. Do you understand? Like, I've heard of situations where guys will, be in a like at a party, at a house party, and the chick is, they're talking to the chick, and the chick actually wants to get down, probably go in one of the rooms or something and make something happen, but the guy's not really, pulling the trigger on it. He's not really making that move. Like, I actually it was one time I had like a dinner party at my crib, and, my wife was, making some shit, and we had some people over, and, there was this dude there, and he was talking to this chick. I'm not going to say their names, because if they're watching, they're going to know I'm talking about them. They'll probably know I'm talking about them if they hear the story, but I don't want other people to know. But anyway, so this dude there, he's talking to this chick. Let's call this guy John, and let's call the chick Sally. So John is talking to Sally, right? And he's, you can tell he's like feeling her, and she's, feeling him too. So, John and Sally's talking, blah, 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 blah. Now there's another dude there. Let's call him Jeff, right? Or no, let's call him Bob, because I don't want to get Jeff and John mixed up. So Bob is there. And Bob, I'm chilling, I'm talking to Bob at this party. And, Bob's not really paying any attention to John and Sally, right? But John, he's just yapping, but John still hasn't really, like, got into the flirting mode. He's not really, he's just talking, right? So it's getting late, and people are leaving. And now it's just me, my girl, John, Sally, and Bob. All right? Now, Bob says, hey, I'm about to leave, but he says to John and Sally, my place is, in the area. If y'all want to come and just still chill there, if y'all don't want to go home, y'all can come to my place and we can chill there. So Sally and John leave with Bob, and they go to Bob's house, right? Now, Bob told me this story that I'm about to tell you what happened at his house. He told me the next day. So now Bob, John, and Sally is at Bob's house, right? Now, John is still talking to Sally, just talking. No flirting, no touchy-feel, nothing, right? So now Bob is looking at this situation, and he's wondering, like, what the hell is wrong with John? Why isn't he making this move, right? So next thing you know, Sally goes to the bathroom, and Bob goes over to John, and he says, yo, so what's good with you and Sally? And he's like, I don't know, what do you mean? He's like, look, do you want to We should do this like three-way, me, you, and her. Let's tag team it. You feel me? So Bob is telling John this, right? So John is like, oh, I don't know, and whatever. So next thing you know, Sally comes out the bathroom. She comes back into the living room where Bob and John is. So Bob goes to Sally, grabs her by the hand, and brings her into his room and closes the door. And then Bob ends up having sex with Sally. And John is chilling in the living room watching TV while all this shit is happening. Right? Now, what happened here? What the fuck happened here? I'll tell you what the fuck happened here. Right? Sally wanted some dick. John was too scared to really take it to that level. Right? The whole time, Bob peeped this. And he was like, yo, let's get this popping. But John was like, I don't know, blah, 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 blah. So what Bob did is when he saw Sally, he was like, look, let's just do this. Because I know you want to, it's 3, 4 in the morning. You're here hanging out with both of us. You want to get some shit popping. Right? So the thing is, a lot of times what women will do is they will go with the guy who is in that leadership position, meaning he's making the move, meaning he is leading the interaction, right? So Sally wanted some dick. It didn't matter who it was from at that point. She just wanted some, and the guy who was making the move, and making the thing happen, she was going to fuck. She would have probably fucked both of them. But see, John was being too much of a pussy to try to make something happen. You understand what I'm saying? So, the thing is, a lot of times, chicks, they will do things and they will make it happen just off the strength of you being a leader and taking that shit and really making it happen. You actually saying, hey, come here, let's do this. Or, or you making that move to touch her and try to kiss her and all this other stuff. You understand? And again, it helps if you understand how to read the chick, seeing her, like how she's feeling. Also understanding how to read the room, because what Bob was doing, Bob was peeping what was going on since he was at my house and John and Sally were talking, and he's looking at John like, yo, this dude is not really making any moves happen, so fuck it, I'm gonna go and make it go down. I remember I actually did the same thing one time where I went to this event and I come in and I see this dude talking to this chick, and he's just talking, and I walk up to them and I'm talking to both of them, but I was like, I'm not gonna infringe on this situation. I'm not gonna cock block homie. You feel what I'm saying? But I said I'm gonna give him 10 more minutes, and if I don't see him doing something, so I sort of left them alone for a second, went to the bar to get a drink, talked to this other girl real quick. And then so I said, if I come back and he's still not, making any moves and shit ain't happening, I'm going to come through and make something go down, right? So I go back to him and the girl. And what happened is all three of us is talking, at this point again. And so literally some other person comes into the spot that he knows. And he turns around and starts talking to them for 2 minutes. Now, within those 2 minutes, I'm getting to work. So I go up to the girl, and the first thing I said was like, yo, after he, turns around, I was like, yo, you are sexy as fuck. That's exactly what I said. I was like, you're sexy as fuck. And then she starts laughing. And so I grab her hand, and I said, listen, so, what's good with you? What's your situation? You got a boyfriend? What's going on? And she's like, oh, no, I'm single and everything like that. And I was like, well, cool, listen, I'm really attracted to you, and I'm going to be honest, I just want to kiss you right now. So then she's like, so what are you waiting for? And then I start kissing her, right? So now the guy, he turns around, and he sees us kissing, and he's like, oh, shit, you understand? And the thing is that I actually went up there, and I took the lead and just was like, look, this is what I'm trying to do, blah, 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 blah. And, I'm seeing her reaction, she's feeling it, and then we make it happen. So a lot of times when it comes to you making shit happen with women, it's about you putting yourself in that situation to sort of read the situation of, put yourself out there to, have those little conversations, that flirty banter, see how she reacts to it. If she's reacting positively to it, you turn it up a notch and you make shit go down. It's really that simple. So you guys will start having more sex, you know, once you do that, you know, you put that into play. You feel me? All right, so let's get another question. Let's get another question. Let me see. All right, give me a second. All right, so this one says, is interracial dating a bad thing? I've seen I've seen videos from people saying that blacks shouldn't date whites or other races slash ethnicities, cultures for that matter, for the stupidest reasons, and that everyone should be with their own people. Do you agree with this? Why or why not? All right, so for those who don't know, I am in an interracial relationship. My wife is white. And I don't give a fuck about all that shit, man. Like, see, you like who the fuck you like, right? So, and you go and do who you want to do. Now, the thing is this, you know, I've always talked about this when it comes to race and racism and everything. You got to understand that racism is real and race is basically made up. It's a social construct. So it's all, the whole thing when you're talking about race technically is bullshit. About, oh, well, you got to stick with your own kind and blah, 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 blah. What is your own kind? We're all fucking human beings. The sad part is we're in a system that has divided us by, you know, race. And then now you got all this craziness going on, right? So, you know, being in an interracial relationship is not a bad thing. The thing that you'll run into trouble with is that if you're with somebody from another race because you think that that race is better, or there's something better about that race, which is why you want to be with them because of that. So that's an issue that you have within yourself, some sort of self-hate that you have. And that's something you need to examine. You understand? So if you're just with someone just for that, that's something that's like a psychological thing you gotta, you know, look at. Do you understand what I'm saying? Another thing is that, you know, if you are with someone from another race or whatever like that, you know, you have to, like let's say specifically, like if you're a black person with someone who's white, you understand? You gotta, you know, make sure that that white person that you're with isn't some sort of like white supremacist. You understand what I'm saying? Or a racist white person. Or if you are, you know, black, Asian, whatever, Hispanic, you got to make sure, or and you know, you're with another race or they're with you, whatever, you got to make sure that person isn't prejudiced and all that other stuff, because that's going to cause some sort of problems now, you know, in the long run. But other than that, you know, if you love the person, if you're into the person, just do what the fuck you want to do. You understand? It's not, you know, a big deal to be with someone who's from another race. You understand? Because when it comes down to it, it's you and that individual. You understand? It's about you and the individual at the end of the day. When it's you and the individual, all that black, white, you know, orange, purple, turquoise, whatever the fuck color you are, you know, it's not a thing. It's like whatever. You feel what I'm saying? So that is that. All right. So next question, it says, meeting women by chance. Do you believe in meeting attractive women by chance? And by that I mean either unexpectedly or being in the right place at the right time. I mean, you can meet women by chance. You can meet women, you know, by you actively going out there. You understand? Like, it doesn't matter, you know, how you meet them. You understand? Like, you can meet attractive women by chance at any time. You understand? Like, you know, you could be going out doing something and you're not even thinking about women, and then you see a girl or you meet some chick and then it happens. So, you know, it is what it is. The thing is, you know, I don't want guys to be on some like fantasy shit with it where it's like, oh man, you know, I'm waiting to meet the perfect woman, and the perfect woman's just gonna fall in my lap, and on some fantasy romantic girly shit. You know what I'm saying? And when you're talking about the right place at the right time, sometimes you're in a situation where things present themselves, and what I would say is just make the best of the situation. So if you're actually in a situation where you see a girl that you're really attracted to, then you should always go for it. You should try to make that happen if this is a girl you want to, make shit happen with. You understand? It's really that simple. It's not, anything that's like super mystical and magical. Like, you meet women anywhere. You meet women all over the place. There's women every place. I'm not even necessarily sure it's like you're meeting them by chance. It's just like you sort of just decide whether or not you want to holler at chicks when you see them. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's really pretty much it. Let me see if I could get another one of these questions. All right, so this one says, is there a way to reduce the amount of flaking from a chick? Like, are there some things that you can do to make sure she doesn't flake? All right, so when you're talking about flaking, right? Women are gonna flake here and there. So, you can't really, there's no like magic thing you can do to, eliminate all flaking. You understand? This is not going to happen. But, there's a couple things you can do. I've talked about this before too, but one thing I should talk about, I should say, is that you should sort of recognize when a woman is sort of going to flake. Meaning, a lot of times you guys will talk to women and almost sort of like, I don't want to say beg them or try to, convince them or twist them. Like, it's like you're talking to a woman who's not really that excited to be talking to you. And it's sort of like you sort of forced her to give you the number. It's like, let me get your number. She's like, oh, well, I'm not really looking for anything right now. And you're like, all right, well, girl, come on. Can we just be friends, though? Can we be friends, though? Like, let me just get your number. We can just hang out on some regular shit. And then so after all of that, she's just like, all right, here's my number. So she's kind of just like, giving up. She's like, all right, fuck it, take my number, right? So now you call this chick and you're like, oh, like, hey, let's get together, let's hang out and everything. And so at the moment when you called her, she might have been bored and was like, yeah, I'll go out with you, whatever, right? Because she just wants to go out and have a good time and all that other stuff, right? And then the day of the date is about to come through, and then she gives you a call or she texts you and she's like, something came up, blah, 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 blah. Or even worse, she stands you up. She just doesn't show up and everything. And it all stems from the fact that when you first met her, she wasn't really being cooperative and receptive to your game. So sometimes, this is why I talk to guys about cooperation and, being with a woman who, or dealing with women who cooperate, dealing with women who are showing high interest in you, because, when a chick is sort of like iffy about shit, when a chick is sort of, like all over the place with it, or very unenthusiastic about, you and her sort of getting together, or when you first met her, she wasn't that enthusiastic about it. She didn't seem all excited about it. There's no like excitement in, you sort of like texting her to, or her responding back to you. Everything is like ifs and maybes, and I'm not sure, I got to get back to you. It's just not really, it doesn't seem like she's into it. Those are the chicks who usually gonna flake. Like, this certain girl, this girl's like, when a chick really is like, when she likes you, she's into you, she's really gonna show up for the date. She really wants to see you. There's a different type of energy going on, man. There's like, I've had chicks where we've exchanged numbers, and I say to myself, oh, this chick seems cool. I'm going to call her tomorrow. I'll give her a call tomorrow night. And, before I even get to call her, she texted me already. Talking about, hey, what's up and what's going on and blah, blah, blah. And it's because her interest is high. Like she really wants to, you know, make this happen. There's times where, you know, I've given girls my number and they hit me up. And, you know, I know a lot of guys haven't experienced that. And I tell guys like, yo, you know, you can give a girl your number and have her call you. And her calling you is that high interest. You understand? I've had times where a lot of times, you know, and a lot of times women will flake because you haven't confirmed a date. And I talked about this in the other video I did the other day. And I've had chicks hit me up to confirm, to make sure that I'm coming to see them on the date because they're actually looking forward to it and excited to go on the date. So when you see these two different things where you have one end, the girl is like really feeling you, she's cooperative, she's, you know, excited to speak to you and blah, blah, blah. And then you have the other girl who's sort of like, yeah, I don't know, maybe, sort of, I'm not sure. You understand? These ones are going to flake, man. They are going to flake. So what I would say is, for you to get a girl who is not going to flake, what you need to do is you need to more than like, you know, you need to basically deal with chicks or deal with more chicks who, when you approach them and talk to them, they are basically giving you the number without any hesitation. They are stopping to talk to you without any hesitation. You understand? Like, these are the type of chicks who are showing actual interest in you. You understand? You have too many of these other women who are just like sort of like iffy about it. They're not really excited about you know, being with you. Because when a girl is excited about being with you, you'll know. You will know. You will see. You will feel it. You will see the difference. It's like night and fucking day. You understand what I'm saying? It's ridiculous. It almost makes you look at these other girls and be like, yo, y'all was on some bullshit. Y'all just wasn't feeling it because the way this chick is feeling me, it's redonk. It's ridiculous. You understand? Like, when chicks are feeling you, they're going to show up. They're not going to flake. They're not going to be doing all that dumb shit. You feel me? So let me see if I can get another email. Let me see. All right, so these are some of the ones I sort of paraphrased. Well, you know, these were the long emails, and I just sort of took a note on what they were trying to say. So I had a guy who hit me up, and he basically wanted to know, are there girls who are harder to get than others? So he's saying, are there girls who are just like, you know, do you have to do extra shit to get these girls? Are there, you know, can the average guy get like these super hot, sexy model type of chicks, right? And so I did a video, or I was talking about this on the Bad Boy Show the other day, where I was talking about chicks who, you know, they get a lot of attention, a lot of guys are trying to smash or whatever. And there's certain ways you can do this. Now, you can just basically go up to a chick who, you know, you think is hot and just holler at her. And then if she's feeling you, she'll fuck with you because she's feeling you. It's really that simple. And also, the thing is, what's fucking you up from the beginning, I should have said this first, is that when you look at girls as like this on this pedestal, or they're so unattainable, I can't get them because they're just on another level, they're just out of this world and all this other nonsense, that creates the reason why you don't get them. That pedestal thing is the thing that makes you not get the chick. You have to stop putting these women on a pedestal, right? Because when you put them on a pedestal, that's the thing that's going to make you act in a way that's unattractive to them. You understand? Women generally want to fuck with guys who they feel they are equal, that they feel the guy is either equal or above them or better than them. You know what I'm saying? So when you are sweating a chick, or you're putting her on a pedestal and you're treating her like a goddamn goddess and shit, then she looks at you like a peasant. You understand? Because only peasants and shit like that are, you know, praising the queens and the goddesses and all that other shit, right? You got to be a king when you approach these chicks. You understand what I'm saying? So the thing is that when you are approaching these girls, you should have that mind frame that, you know, you can get them, that her being with you is an upgrade for her. And, you know, you're letting her know that you're putting her on. It has to be that sort of like interaction. And also, I was talking about this in the Bad Boy shows, that sometimes you might be able to go at it a different route in certain ways when you, excuse me, when you see girls that you know, that it's obvious that they probably get a lot of attention from guys, or guys sweat them and simp and do all this other stuff. So you can come at it another way where you're not going to blend in with those other guys. Because a lot of times women get so bombarded with, you know, especially really, really hot chicks, they get so bombarded with a whole bunch of dudes that's either trying to sweat them, trying to buy them shit, trying to do all this other stuff, and you don't want to get lumped into that category. So you have to sort of differentiate yourself from those dudes by, when you're talking to her, sort of try to have her qualify or herself to you, and you are, you know, hollering at her or interacting with her as if you are evaluating her. So when you're having conversations with her, you know, you basically ask her questions to where she sort of has to, like, think about, you know, what makes her interesting. You understand? Because if you're having a conversation with a chick like that, and you be like, you know, you're like, yeah, you know, I'll be out here chilling, you know, I go on a lot of dates and all of that and all this stuff. But, you know, I keep just meeting all these girls who they're just beautiful, but they're just like the same girl. Like, I don't meet anyone who's like interesting. You understand? Like, I don't meet anyone who has a brain. Like, you know, like, there's nothing more attractive than a woman who is smart, who has things going for her, who understands the world she's living in. Do you understand what I'm saying, girl? And then she's like, yeah, you know. So, and then you're just putting that frame out there. And then as you're, like, you know, talking to you, it's like, so, you know, what do you do? Right? What are you about? And now that you've put that out there of, you know, saying that, you know, chicks are on some regular shit and they're all the same, and they blend in and they're kind of waxed. And so now she's going to sort of like try to play herself up so that she doesn't seem like, you know, those regular girls. You understand? So now you have her trying to sort of impress you with how she's coming at. And then you can sort of tell that she's doing this because a lot of times she will go based off of, you know, completely off of what you just said. You understand? So, you know, you'll be saying, she'll be like, oh, well, you know, I'm not the type of girl who blah, 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 blah. I actually like to do this and this and this and that and that. And you're like, okay, that's interesting. You know, that's pretty cool. And then you sort of keep that same thing up where you sort of try to ask her questions and evaluate her. You're trying to see, you know, you're supposed to go off that energy like, you know, I'm trying to see if you are cool enough to fuck with me. It's really that simple, right? Now, another email I got was a dude. He was basically asking me about check-in chicks. Like, you know, he was saying, is it necessary to really check women? Because he was saying that he was listening to a clip from my audio program on my Bad Boy membership. I have a Bad Boy membership thing that talks about checking women. Right, damn, I can see his fucking, I look tired as fuck right now. But anyway, let's keep going. I got, like, you know, probably one more left I'm gonna do after this. But he wanted to know, like, you know, is it necessary to really check a woman? Do you really need to do that? Or, like, does it make, he was basically saying, like, does it even make a difference? Because chicks are just gonna, you know, be chicks and, you know, do whatever they want to do anyway and all this other stuff. See, the thing is, you have to check women, you have to check chicks, because if you don't check them, their behavior towards you is going to get worse. Women want you to check them. They want you to do that. Now, this doesn't mean, again, because I've talked about this before, this doesn't mean you get loud and fucking violent and crazy. No. You're basically checking a chick by addressing what she's doing wrong that she shouldn't be doing, and letting her know that she can't sort of like pull one over on you. You understand? And the goal of checking your chick is so that she gets to a point where she checks herself. You understand? Because, and also there sort of needs to be consequences for the behavior. So it has to be something where, let's say if you're dealing with a girl, and it depends on different levels of like how you are in, you know, with the girl, like, you know, it depends on if you're dating a chick. Let's say this could be your wife or it could be your girlfriend, just some girl you're dating, whatever. It all depends. But you know, there has to be some sort of like what's the word I'm looking for? I'm so fucking tired right now. There has to be some sort of fucking consequence as to, you know, if she keeps fucking around and doing some bullshit. You understand? So, like, let's say if you're dating her and, you know, you say to her, look, you know, what you did, that wasn't cool. And if that happens again, me and you can't see each other anymore. I'm just gonna go. You understand? So the consequence is you checked her on the shit she did. You're telling her if she does it again, you gotta bounce. You're gonna bounce. Now, if she does do it again, you actually have to bounce. You have to. You understand? Because at this point, if you stay, she's lost respect for you because you told her you were going to do this and you didn't. So you have to bounce. You understand what I'm saying? Because if you do stay, it ain't going to be good for you anyway because she's just going to keep disrespecting you because she realized that you're posing like these empty threats. You understand? These empty, you're like, oh, I'm going to leave if you do this, and then she ends up doing it and you don't leave. She's like, this motherfucker's whack. And she's going to shit on you from that point on. So, you know, you gotta understand that it's important for you to check the chicks. Now, there doesn't necessarily need to be that type of consequence just off the bat, but if you've checked the girl a couple of times and she keeps doing it, then you have to introduce that consequence at some point. You feel me? All right, so, all right, let me do one more. Man, we're going on like almost an hour now. Jesus, I'm tired as fuck. All right, and guys, remember, if you want to send questions, click the link below, and if you wanted a guaranteed answer to your question, make sure you send a donation. And also, guys, make sure you go to badboymembership.com where you get 45 through 90-minute audio and video tutorials every month. All right? So, this last one was a guy, he was saying that he wanted to know why chicks always make it so hard for guys to have sex. Or they give you the runaround. It seems like they want you to do all these things. They want you to jump through hoops and all this other stuff and all that other craziness, right? So basically, what it is that chicks, they love to market their pussy a certain way. They're like, look, they're like, this is pussy. This is my pussy. You want this. This is the pussy. You want this, man, right? You want this pussy. Now, in order to get this pussy, you got to do a whole bunch of shit. Now, the reason why they say this is because, or they do this, is because that's their bargaining chip. That's how they're going to get whatever they want from you. You know, either be attention, money, whatever it is, marriage sometimes, whatever the hell it is, right? They're going to say, well, give me all these things I want, and then I'll give you some pussy, right? But, see, this is how simps get tricked. This is how these manginas get fucked up in the game. Because you know, if you're on that simp shit, if you're on that mangina shit, you think that, you know, this, like, these women are doing you a favor by having sex with you. See, you know what I love about the game and what I love about dealing with women and interacting with women is that women, they are so moved by words. They're so moved by words. So the thing is that guys who are good at attracting women and getting with girls, they understand this. So they understand that by having a simple conversation or, putting a girl in a certain frame of mind, we'll get her panties wet. We'll make her want to drop drawers. We'll make her want to have sex with you, right? So these girls, they want to have sex already regardless. And then on top of that, the fact that you can say certain things and be a certain way, which will make a girl want to jump all over you, it's an awesome thing knowing that that can be done just by tapping into her emotions and knowing what to say, how to say it, when to say it, and make that happen. It's a fucking beautiful thing. You understand? And once you get good at this, you know how to really put it out there and make it happen. Right? But see, a lot of guys who are simps and who are manginas and who are dudes who don't know, how to attract women, right? They are under the assumption that women don't like sex. They're under the assumption that, you got to do, a whole backflip and somersaults and a whole bunch of shit in order to get girls to want to have sex with you. They listen to a lot of these girls out of here who say, oh, I would never have sex on the first date, or I never do this, I don't do that, I'm not a slut, I'm not this, and I'm not that. And they don't realize that these girls are just saying those things, but when it comes down to real life and the situations, and when it comes down to you actually being able to have conversations with these girls and to tap into their emotions and to get them to feel a certain thing, you understand? It's just like I was saying with the other story where my friend was on the train with the girl and he was talking all that sex shit and getting her riled up with the sex talk that made her want to have sex, right? So if you understand this, when a chick is dangling her pussy around saying, oh, well, you got to do this and this and this and this or else you ain't going to get it, you could be like, listen, you could take that pussy and shove it or fuck it yourself. I'm good. I'm good. You get out of here. Thanks, but no thanks. Right? Because you know that there's hundreds of millions of other women who are ready to get the fuck down, who are ready to make this shit happen. So once you understand that, it's like you can't be tricked into thinking that you need to do a whole bunch of shit for some chick to get her to drop drawers. See, the guys whose game is weak think they need to do all this extra shit. They think they need to, buy her drinks. They need to buy her gifts. They need to pay her money in order to get her to open their legs. You understand? But see, the thing is that they don't understand that there's a way to really tap into the chick's emotions. It's to tap into her feelings, to get her feeling you. You understand? To get her feeling you. See, a lot of guys, they say, damn, it's so hard to get these chicks out of here because they play games, they do this, they do that, and blah, blah, blah. And the reason why a lot of these chicks do this is because most of these guys out here are simps. And so they know that they can run that bullshit game on them. And then they can get the simps to pay for dinners and gifts and all this other shit. And then they go and fuck the guy who understands the game. Most of these chicks who have these friend-zoned or simp dudes and, just floating around, they have a guy who they're giving the pussy to all day. They're not going to that guy saying, hey, you got to do this and do that in order to get this. No, they are handing that shit over to him like nothing. They're like, yes, fuck me. You understand? So you want to be that guy. You don't want to be that other dude who is the simp motherfucker who thinks that he can't get these chicks. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to be that fucking guy. You don't. You really don't. You feel what I'm saying? So you got to understand that, you know, these chicks out here want to fuck, and don't be fooled into how she's trying to market her pussy to you. You understand what I'm saying? Don't be fooled. She's trying to sell it as this, like, you know, this ultimate thing, and the only way to get that is you gotta, you know, bend over backwards and do backflips and all that other bullshit. You feel me? So guys, man, it's like what, 2-something now in the morning. About to wrap it up. I'm tired as fuck. You see my fucking eyes, it's crazy. But anyway, so again, guys, make sure that you click the link below to send me questions. I love when you guys send questions. And make sure that you guys go to Bad Boy Membership, where you get 45 through 90-minute audio and video tutorials every month. Make sure you join that membership. Trust me, you need to be on the Bad Boy Membership. If you're not on the Bad Boy Membership right now, I don't know what to tell you, man. I don't know what to tell you, okay? Because that is going to step up your game heavy. Like I tell you guys, like these videos I put out on YouTube, I always say it's like this, I use the sandwich, you know, analogies. Analogy or metaphor? I don't know. One of them jokes. But basically, these free videos out here that I put out every day, it's just like the bread. You're getting the bread. Okay? The bread is good, but you're just getting the bread. When you join the membership, you get the bread, the cheese, the meat, the lettuce, the tomato, the mayonnaise, the pickles. You're getting everything. You're getting the whole fucking sandwich. Okay? So make sure you guys go to badboymembership.com right now. Also go to undeniablegame.com so you can get my free audio program, Undeniable Game. That is awesome. Make sure you go to MrLocario.com. Also, so you can get my free ebook, The Magnificent 10 Crucial Dating Tips for Men. So I got a lot of free shit for you guys. But also go to MrLocario.com to get my book, How to Have Sex with 2 Women a Day. Also get my DVD, The Bad Boys Guide to Dating. Also get How to Pick Up and Date Multiple Women seminar. Get the Reclaim the Game New Dating Rules for Men seminar. Get the Banned from YouTube Dating Advice mixtape. You can get all that at MrLocario.com. And you can also get the Ultimate Bad Boy Package, which is, I combined all of my stuff into one thing, and you can get it at a low price. You feel me? And all that's at MrLocario.com. You can actually click the link below to the store page. It has a link below this video that says store, Mr. Locario store, and you can make that happen. All right. So listen, guys, I'm out of here. I'm tired as fuck. I'm done. So remember, the truth is inside you. I'm out. Peace. Now, before you turn off this video, I want you to do 3 quick things. 1, I want you to click the link below so you can send me a question and I'll do a video on it. 2, I want you to click the link under that to get my free audio program, Undeniable Game, which gives you 7 tips on how to really attract beautiful women. And number 3, I want you to click the link under that to go to badboymembership.com, where you get 45 through 90-minute audio and video dating advice tutorials every month. Hey, what's up? It's dating and life coach Mr. Locario. Go to badboymembership.com and master the dating game by joining my Bad Boy Membership program. In this program, you'll receive 45 through 90-minute, easy-to-follow, step-by-step dating advice tutorials that's guaranteed to help you attract, date, and have sex with beautiful women. Join the Bad Boy Membership today by going to badboymembership.com. That's badboymembership.com.